If you want empathy, start with showing empathy yourself. It makes me crazy. Hi, welcome to the castle. We're gonna watch another video today, which is about the topic if social media is killing romance. I would like to hear your opinion about it, but we're gonna watch in the meantime while you're typing. We're gonna watch a video from So You Think I'm Stupid. Interesting channel name. But yeah, the video is already almost a year old. But I think the topic is still very, very present in our day and age. Like 1 year is nothing in that regard. And I'm kind of curious what he has to say about it. I will say my opinion probably at the end of the video. So let's go into the watching. All right, so we have the video. It is already starting with the chapter, is romance dead in the modern world? And those are some interesting questions because I see so many weird things humans say about dating and the other gender, and it's just a whole mess. Let's just say it as is. It's just a whole mess. So I'm kind of curious what this will be about.
Is romance dead in the modern world?
See,
Why am I
let's see.
asking?
Yeah.
Well, the other day I was talking with my mom over lunch and I asked her about how she and my dad met. Let me tell you, the story's straight out of a K-drama low-key. When I heard the story, it made me wonder where the romance has gone in the modern world. It seems like the most common occurrence in this day and age.
The most common occurrence is in this day and age is exactly what we're looking at. Everybody's by themselves, looking at their phone, not doing anything. Like, I mean, at least that person is just standing there, and this person just standing there, and there's one standing there. At least a few people don't have their phone in their hand, but yeah, everybody's just by themselves, kinda, and it's I can't tell you why though.
Is hookups, toxic relationships, cheating, and overall just guys and girls going straight for each other's jugulars because they see the other party as the most heinous and vile human beings whose sole purpose is to ruin lives. And there's a truth to what's being said because, I mean, just look at the state of dating and relationships today. You could probably...
Yeah, some comments are hilarious, man. Some comments are completely out of place. And like I noticed that in some of my comment sections, like when we do stuff about dating and like the other gender, there are people that, I'm sorry to say, just don't show any empathy. Not at all. The ability just to imagine something that another person might have experienced is not doable for them. And I do not why. Everybody's screaming for empathy, but showing empathy by yourself is like, start with that. If you want empathy, start with showing empathy yourself. It makes me crazy.
Even ask your parents for advice on how to get a partner, and when they give you their advice, you'll probably think that that wouldn't work today, or
be kind, give her flowers. Yeah, that is a good start. Yeah, that's a good start.
That people would be weirded out if you tried it. And it makes me wonder how it came to this point. What was originally seen as a romantic gesture that would move hearts has now become cringe or doing too much. Like, y'all, you probably wouldn't be alive today had your dad not pulled...
What is the face? Oh my god. How dad be telling me how to pull tents back in the day. Singing a song. But to be fair, that girl is not looking very happy. She looks a little bit annoyed. Maybe she had a bad day.
Pulled out that move on your mom. And I get it. Times change and culture shifts. But I've got to wonder, are we moving forwards or backwards? Let's talk about it.
That's an interesting
The type of information
question.
you consume on a regular basis heavily influences your perspective on this topic, which makes sense because your cognitive library of information and experiences shapes your worldview. Let's say you lived a simple life as a farmer in a small but closely knit community where everyone knew and looked out for each other. You spend your free time taking long walks, enjoying nature, and volunteering in community events. Your day-to-day experiences mainly consist of hard but fulfilling work, tranquility, and joy. With this type of lifestyle, you probably have a more positive and optimistic outlook on life. Now, on the other hand, let's say you, this isn't really theoretical anymore, but...
He looks like me after a long day of editing. That's how I look.
Let's take your and most people's lives as an example. You're probably working a stressful job that you might not particularly enjoy, but endure anyway because it gets the bills paid. Because it's so stressful and draining, you go to the internet to mentally escape and recharge. And it's on the internet where you get absolutely overloaded with all kinds of information. News, celebrity drama, content creators being exposed for... and people saying the most insulting and hateful things because it's the internet. Everyone's...
Yeah, but I have to admit though, like, yes, you go into the internet to escape and let's say numb yourself from your reality, which is sadly nowadays very normal to do because of the reasons he mentioned. And more reasons, of course. There are so many things why humans try to numb themselves. But in terms of social media, like, I followed so many people back in the day and now too. And then I looked at their profile sometimes and then I read the text and see what kind of communities they have or like what kind of people are commenting there. And I'm like, I don't want that. Like, I just feel bad looking at it. So I stopped following them. I stopped looking at their stuff. I told the algorithm I don't like this. And this is how you can shape your environment in social media. You can, if by choice, you can make it a positive experience, but also by choice, you can make it a negative experience. It always depends on how you train your algorithm. And yes, you can, because you just have to know to understand it, and then you can use it to just see positive things. Or just have a completely messed up algorithm, because my algorithm goes from cat videos, which are super adorable, to car crashes because my community is into sports cars. And some cooking, and then some man dressing up giving tips. It's all over the place because of my community, but this is the joy of it. So I experience a lot of things. For me, it's positive in this way, because I experience a lot of things, and then we talk about those things and we can process it. But if you're alone by yourself and you go through all of that negativity on social media, or like you're looking at, let's say, fitness influencers, and then you're like look into the mirror and you feel bad about yourself because you don't look like this, then you should not look at fitness influencers. You can, but if they have a negative impact on you, maybe someone else with other supportive mechanisms, my lord, is better suited for you. You can choose what you're looking at. And if you don't want to look at it, tell that to the algorithm. You still have the power over it.
Anonymous and
Even though
therefore
some are
aren't held
aggressive.
accountable for their actions. When this is the type of information you're constantly exposed to, would it be any surprise if you think the world is on fire and that there's no hope for humanity? The same logic can be applied to your perspective on dating. The type of relationship content that is most likely to be fed to your algorithm are the ones that are negative and hostile towards the opposite sex.
And
this makes sense
toxic.
because it's engaging and gets a reaction out of you, whether it be because you share the same experience.
I want to read this. POV, you open their message and it's the driest, most uninteresting response you've ever read, but they're the only person you want to talk to. Processing, I'm sorry. So can someone explain this to me? So you're talking to someone and they reply in a non-interested way, but let's say you're desperate and lonely, so you want to talk to them. I'm sorry, but if a person treats you like this, it's time to move on. It's time to move on. The most important person is yourself, and you should make sure to take care of yourself. So if someone treats you like this, you should respect yourself and move on. I'm sorry. I know it's lonely, but you also have to think of yourself. And this is not something you deserve, okay?
or because it's rage bait. My ex cheated on me this. My partner is toxic and manipulative that. Men ain't shit. Women get the ick when a guy breathes. I have to train my boyfriend because he doesn't know how to treat a woman right. Women like to cause problems and make things difficult for the sake of it. It just keeps going on and on and on like an ultimate ping pong match. And again, there's a truth to these things, but...
Yeah, there's a truth of these things, but also there's never... This is also something that bugs me, like about my rant earlier with empathy. Like, if you want someone who you enjoy your company with, and maybe if they react a little bit weird, instead of feeling attacked, maybe ask, did you had a bad day? Or you never know what's happening in the other person, so you should ask about it. And this is something I don't understand. If someone receives a weird reaction, just ask about it and like seek understanding by asking a polite question. Is that so out of the world? Or I'm not sure. Did you forget how to ask questions? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I shouldn't scream. It makes me so angry. It makes me so angry because it's like going back to the empathy thing.
When you're constantly consuming this type of information, you end up getting stuck in an echo chamber where all you hear is that men are trash, women are problematic, and because others are reaffirming what everyone else is saying, you assume that must be the norm, not the exception. And maybe you're thinking, well, yeah, everyone's saying it's true. Everyone has shared similar personal...
Oh wait, let me read those as well. So from the left, it took me 3 years to understand what Lil Uzi, who that is, meant when he said, I like that girl so much. I wish I never met her. Oh boy, someone is very madly in love with someone who is not good for them, I guess. The middle one is realizing that the person that I've been talking to for the past 3 months was an undercover Bob the whole time that was just trying to play with my feelings. What is a Bob? Huh? But I'm so sorry for that guy. I'm so sorry for him. But what is a Bob? I don't know what that is. Please explain to me. I'm so sorry. I'm stupid. And on the right one we have me removing myself from their life, knowing I would have gave them the world had they just showed a little effort and energy, but they'd rather settle for less. That is also very frustrating, right? You try your best and it's still not good enough, but you should never think that you are not good enough. It just you just didn't meet the whatever weird requirements the other person had, probably. So it's not about you. There is someone for you. Don't give up. That is the hard part, probably. Just stand up again and move on from it.
Experiences before, doesn't that mean that it is the norm? Not necessarily. Remember, the type of content that is most likely to be fed to the algorithm and go viral are the ones that are the most emotionally charging and engaging. And negative emotions are far more potent and impressionable than positive emotions. You hear it all the time. People online may get thousands of positive comments and compliments, but as soon as they read one negative comment, it lives in their head rent-free for a longer period of time than the positive ones. And it's because negativity is far more potent. That's why the news consists mainly of fear-mongering and negative events, and why everyone is drawn to drama. We engage with negativity far more than we do with positivity, and that's...
I wonder why though. Like, doesn't everyone wants to be happy? Is that the right question to ask though? Doesn't you humans seek like a life full of purpose, of happiness, of smiles, of like feeling good? Like, why do you seek drama instead then? This is something where it's weird to me, you know? Like, if you want some positivity, you should seek positivity in the internet and ignore the negativity. Or am I wrong?
That's why it's constantly being fed to us. Furthermore, people are more likely to share negativity than positivity. If you've been wronged, you're more inclined to voice out your grievance and seek retribution, right? You have something to prove, and when you're validated for it, it feels amazing. Especially more so when you've had a history of bad relationships and therefore hardly ever experienced validation and reassurance. But on the other hand, if your life is just swell and everything is going well for you, maybe you'd want to share your experience at times, but more often than not, you're keeping it to yourself because you're just vibing and enjoying the moment. When you're happy and genuinely enjoying the moment, you aren't going, hold on, I'm going to put this on my Instagram or TikTok.
Oh Lord, I need to post it. I mean, I do that. Like when I feel good, I post it because I want to inspire people to also feel good or to feel productive or like whatever positive thing you want to call it. I do be very open when I don't feel good though. Like yesterday I talked about how badly I felt a couple days because my period didn't start. So yeah. So things, it should be normal to just share feelings and also positive ones. I think more positive ones because we definitely need more positive things on the internet. And I don't mean cat videos, even though I like them.
Talk to show how happy I am. You'd be breaking yourself out of the immersion, and at that point, you aren't thinking about how happy you are. Instead, you're thinking about wanting other people to see that you appear happy. There's a subtle difference.
Wait, what? I need to
be breaking yourself out of the immersion.
See that again.
And at that point, you aren't thinking about how happy you are. Instead, you're thinking about wanting other people to see that you appear happy.
That you appear happy. This goes into a more negative part of being an influencer. Let's just say that. Like it always depends on your intentions. If your intention is that people think you have a good life, then yes, that is a very, very big difference. But if you post something because you feel good and you like it and you want to show it to other people to brighten up their day, I think that is something positive that we could strike for, or should strike for even. I think it is. Recently, I watched so many social media influencer content. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous what they do for money. I mean, yeah, I'm in the pod. I know, I'm very well aware, but I don't cause drama. I'm very well aware that I belong into this pod, but like they want to share stuff to show how much money they have, what kind of good life they have. They want to share that. They want you to. I don't even know what they want you to. They just want validation and being admired, probably, and being told how hot they are for the fitness ones. Probably. I don't know. I'm not that person, but it's just something that I assume, okay? So of course you can go into that road, but it can be very depressing. I promise you it will be depressing and difficult over time. But if you're sharing stuff just for the sake of sharing positivity because you want to brighten up other people, I think this is where the true purity of social media comes. Like just creating a safe, positive, uplifting world is way more valuable and should be more pushed by the algorithm than all those, let's just say trash. Like all the drama causing, the controversials. It is important to debate. I will not talk that down. It's important for growth. But a little bit more sunlight. Okay? A little bit more sunlight would be nice. And even if you just comment into someone's comment section, hey, I like your hairstyle. It looks very good on you. Just do that. And then it's fine. Okay? It doesn't have to be the most magical essay they have ever seen in their entire life. You can have a big impact with small little things like that.
There's a subtle difference. Put more succinctly, there's more to life than what goes on in our screens. The ones that are in happy, healthy relationships aren't living their lives on the internet, which is why we rarely ever see any positivity about relationships online. And for the scarce few that do exist online, we most likely won't run into it because it's not as emotionally engaging or relatable, and therefore won't be fed to the algorithm. But overall, something to keep in mind is that happy and healthy relationships don't exist online. They exist in the real world.
Yeah.
This isn't to say that the things people complain about online are invalid. Far from it, actually. The reality is that there are so many people out there who have no business getting into relationships. Many of us today have a lot of baggage and issues about ourselves that we need to sort out. But instead of doing the internal...
But also those baggages and insecurities and everything also come from social media. Like I said, when you follow too many fitness influencers and you look into the mirror and you just feel shit about yourself, you automatically, like, subconsciously will, like, be less, like, let's just say less attractive because you may be like more shrimping, you're more scared, you look more insecure. I'm not telling you to be an alpha sigma like I am. I'm joking. But like not feeling like shit and like validating yourself, being proud of yourself, those are skills that are completely bombarded by negativity, and it makes me really, really mad. It makes me really, really mad, and I want to try to change it in the amount I can. So here we are.
Internal work to fill that void within ourselves. We seek other people to fill that void for us, and surprise, surprise, it doesn't work.
No.
We're not filling that void. We're just hiding it so that we no longer are aware that it exists. And this
is where you have to validate yourself. If you did something good, be proud of yourself. Get yourself, I don't know, a little treat. Buy yourself flowers. Man, I feel always so good when I buy myself some flowers sometimes. It's a great feeling. I love it. Or go to a coffee date with yourself. You are your best friend. You cannot change your body. Like, you cannot just take your brain, put it somewhere else. Doesn't work for now. Let's see what some people will do in 100 years. But for now, you just have to learn to validate and be proud of yourself. Please do yourself that favor.
This results in us projecting our insecurities and problems onto our partners, leading us to make stupid choices and deeply hurting them in the process. Or, on the other hand, it leaves us susceptible to ignoring red flags and falling or settling for people that don't give us the love and respect.
Let me read that. You're in love with what could be, not what it is. You love in the way you want to be loved, but fail to see is not being I can't say that word. Sorry. You don't value yourself enough to see that you could do better. It's not a good it's a good distraction from the emptiness you feel inside. Another person should not be a distraction. That is not what another person deserves. The same goes for you, but the same goes for the other person. You should not treat people like that. Overall, you should not treat people like how you do not want to be treated. That's a very simple rule that I follow, but it works very well. But it feels like it's rare. Makes me mad again. Oh man. Fear the unknown and comfort of the familiarity holds you back from.
We
That's
deserve.
so sad.
Either way, we end up a statistic in the cycle of trauma and toxicity. We're human, so of course we have our flaws and ignorant moments. The bitter reality is that sometimes we may need to go through these experiences to grow and learn from them. It only becomes an issue when we don't hold ourselves accountable for our actions and instead wallow in our own misery. If we want things to change, we simply have to do better. And on one hand, it's great that social media is providing people with...
I wouldn't say do better like directly, but just do something. Do something about it. If you're feeling miserable, do something about it. Maybe seek therapy, seek support. Seek your family if you have a good relationship with them. Seek two friends. If you don't have anything at all, seek to yourself. Not in a negative way, like telling yourself, oh yeah, you're so shit, nobody wants to deal with you. More like, hey, you've been through a lot of things. And it's time to stand up. and to do something about it. And if no one does it, I will, and I will stand up for myself. And that's what you should do if you feel alone.
The platform to raise awareness and call people out on their bullshit, because the only way to address a problem is if we're even aware of it in the first place. But I don't think people are getting that message.
Self-reflection is
Instead,
so
they take on a
important
victim
too.
mentality and allocate all their efforts into antagonizing others as opposed to working on themselves. That is what's dangerous about the negative relationship content online. People aren't mature enough to mentally process the information in a productive and healthy
True.
manner. And because of this, that type of content polarizes people's opinions on the opposite sex
And then they grow up with it and always have those wrong and toxic beliefs that they don't even know what's really happening in the world. And both genders do that, or like all genders do that. Like everyone has then a weird view onto the world because they only live online and don't experience something and make their own choices and make their own like actions and decisions to experience it. They just experience it online through the content, and that's how they are let's say even framed, and how they go into a relationship, right? So this is completely wrong. You should not do that. You can't portray what you're told on social media on every person you're dating. That is not fair for the person you're dating with.
heavily influences the way they approach relationships. Imagine an impressionable and naive teenager who knows absolutely nothing about relationships. All they see online is people saying, "Men ain't shit. Be your own boss bitch and have these men bow down to you like the queen you are." Or, "Women are objects to be controlled and dominated. Be an alpha male and treat women as less than you because that's the only way you'll get their attention."
That
This
is
is the
so
type of
wrong.
content being
Both
imprinted
are
into their
wrong.
minds. Do you think they'll be in the right headspace to have a healthy relationship?
No.
If anything, they're
They wouldn't even know how to start it properly.
more likely to feed into the cycle of toxicity. People don't know how to act or think for themselves anymore. And if people aren't getting guidance in the real world, they end up seeking it in the online world. And unfortunately, a majority of the content online is not conducive to building healthy, well-rounded
No.
people.
No.
Dating is in a really tricky spot right now. There's so many factors and complexities that play a role into why it's become the toxic cesspool it is today. And the content online is only exacerbating the problem. There's so much more I want to talk about regarding this topic, but for now, the main takeaway is this. Go outside and touch grass. Nah, I'm just playing.
I mean, go outside and touch grass. He's not wrong. Go outside, buy yourself a coffee, sit without any electronical device in your hand. Just have the coffee. Look what is happening around you. Experience the noises. Smell the smells. Please shower. Go for a walk. Go to an animal shelter and walk with a dog. Be a part of a community. If you seek being part of a community, you have to do it. Okay? The community will not come to you and find you. You have to seek out for it. So get your ass up.
But seriously, try not to be as
I shouldn't
chronically
scream.
online as much. It's messing with your mental and skewing your perspective of the world. Instead, work on building more emotional and mental awareness so that you can discover what internal work needs to be done. And lastly, take what you see online with a grain of salt.
Always.
Well, actually a whole gallon, because the
Yeah, a
online
whole
world
gallon
isn't
is good.
our reality, and we'll never be happy if we try to make it out to be.
Yeah.
Alright, that's it for now. Take care, guys.
That
See
was
you next time.
That was such a good video. It was such a good video. I'm impressed. It had so many good points where I could just connect to and like say something. And I hope I added a little bit of value to it because it's an absolute disaster what's happening online. And I'm chronically online. I know what I'm talking about. And I don't even look at the very, very dark things that happen online. I'm just looking at the surface, man. And this is already horrible. It's already horrible on the surface level. I don't want to even go further than that. I just know some rumors and that's about it. And I don't want to see it. And I hope that you don't see that. But yeah, my takeaway is very good video. Please share some love and support to the creator. I will link everything. It was amazing because it teaches again. It puts awareness again. How much is not in balance anymore. How the generations are growing up and nobody feels responsible. Nobody, because the new generations, they don't know. They can't handle it. They need a little bit of guidance. They need a bit of support. They also need like the ability to tell if something is bullshit or not, but they can't because nobody teaches them. And I hope you're gonna try with me to change that. Let's just make a little positive corner in this on this planet, that you guys can be safe, that you guys can express your feelings, that you guys have someone that you can play games with and spend time, but be in an overall positive manner, because that's what you deserve. I will shut up now. I see you tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed today. Let me know what your thoughts about this are. I mean, to be honest, it is clearly the truth. I wouldn't say social media is killing romance. I would say social media is numbing humans so much they don't even know how to function or how to approach each other, how to function with each other. And they've been taught very, very wrong beliefs, which they believe now. And there should be more learning and understanding and self-reflection to get out of this rut. There is a way. It's not easy, but there's a way. All right, I see you tomorrow. I wish you a lovely day. Make sure to be happy and healthy for me, and then I wish you a good time.